What if that random coincidence wasn't random at all? What if the song that started playing at the perfect moment, or the person who crossed your path exactly when you needed them, the number, symbol, dream, or phrase that kept appearing again and again, was not just your imagination? What if life has been speaking to you all along, not in loud, dramatic messages, but in subtle whispers? Today, we're diving into the mysterious world of synchronicities. Those meaningful coincidences that feel too precise, too perfectly timed, too emotionally charged to ignore. We'll explore what synchronicity really is, how Carl Jung understood it, how to recognize it without becoming lost in fantasy, and how these universe whispers can become a kind of spiritual compass on your path. So, if you ever had a coincidence that made you stop and think, wait, was that a sign? Stay with me. This video might change how you see your life. Let's decode the whispers. Have you ever thought of someone you haven't spoken to in months, and then suddenly they text you? Or maybe you were thinking about making a big change in your life, and suddenly the same word, the same symbol, or the same idea started appearing everywhere. Maybe you were walking through a hard moment, asking silently for guidance, and then a stranger said exactly the sentence you needed to hear. Most of us have experienced something like this, and usually we dismiss it. We say, it's just a coincidence. I'm probably overthinking it. My brain is just looking for patterns. It doesn't really mean anything. And yes, sometimes that's true. The human mind is very good at finding patterns. We are meaning-making beings. We connect dots. We notice what matters to us. But sometimes something feels different. A coincidence doesn't just pass by, it lands. It touches something deep inside you. It feels emotionally charged, perfectly timed, almost intelligent. Like life is gently tapping on your shoulder and saying, pay attention. That moment, that strange meeting point between the outer event and your inner feeling, is where synchronicity begins. Not every coincidence is synchronicity, but synchronicity is a coincidence that carries meaning. And that meaning is not always logical. Sometimes it is simply felt. The psychologist Carl Jung gave us one of the most famous explanations of this phenomenon. He called synchronicity a meaningful coincidence, but not in a normal cause and effect way. Usually we understand life like this. This happened because that happened. One event causes another, cause and effect. But Jung suggested that some events are connected not by cause, but by meaning. He described synchronicity as an a-causal connecting principle. That sounds complicated, but let's make it simple. It simply means your inner world and the outer world suddenly mirror each other. For example, you're going through a deep transformation and butterflies keeps appearing everywhere. You're grieving on someone and a song connected to that person suddenly plays at the exact moment you're thinking of them. You're questioning a decision, and 3 different people unexpectedly bring up the same idea in one day. You dream of a place, a symbol, or a person, and then it appears in waking life. There's no obvious logical cause, but there is a connection. A connection through meaning. Jung didn't see this as simple superstition. He saw it as a sign that the psyche and the world may be more deeply connected than we usually believe. That our inner life, our dreams, emotions, questions, fears, desires, and transformations may somehow be woven into the larger fabric of reality. Synchronicity is not about predicting the future. It is not about becoming obsessed with signs. It is not about turning every bird, number, or random event into a message. It is about noticing when life reflects something back to you in a way that feels alive, precise, and meaningful. It's like the universe doesn't always speak in words. Sometimes it speaks in timing, sometimes in symbols, sometimes in repetition, sometimes in strange, beautiful poetry of events lining up in a way your rational mind can't fully explain. For me, synchronicity often shows up during moments of transition. Not when everything is clear, not when I have the perfect plan, but when I'm standing between 2 chapters. When something old is ending and something new has not yet fully revealed itself. Those are the moments when the whispers become louder. Not loud like a command, more like a gentle pull, strange alignment, a feeling in the body that says, this matters. Maybe it's a person I meet unexpectedly, or it's a place I feel drawn to without knowing why. Maybe it's a repeated word, symbol, dream, or conversation. Maybe it's a small detail that anyone else would ignore. But for me, in that exact moment, it feels like a signpost. And sometimes, looking back, I can see how those little signs guided me. They didn't give me the whole map. They didn't explain the entire journey, but they helped me take the next step. And maybe that's what synchronicity really does. It doesn't always show you the destination. Sometimes it simply says, walk this way. Notice this. Don't ignore that feeling. This door matters. This person is part of the path. This ending is also an opening. And, of course, we have to be careful. Because not every emotional moment is a divine message. Not every desire is intuition. Not every coincidence is guidance. But when a synchronicity is real, when it comes from that deeper place, it often has a very specific feeling. It feels quiet but powerful, subtle but undeniable. It doesn't feel like panic. It doesn't feel like forcing. It doesn't feel like obsession. It feels like resonance. Like something inside you recognizes something outside you. And for a moment, the separation between your inner world and the outer world becomes very, 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 very thin. So, how do we begin to notice synchronicity in our own lives? How do we hear the whispers? The first step is presence, because synchronicity is subtle. If we are always rushing, scrolling, overthinking, or trying to control everything, we may miss the signs completely. The universe might be whispering, but we are too noisy inside to hear it. So, start with awareness. Pay attention to moments that feel unusual. Not just strange, meaningful. Ask yourself, did this event connect to something I was feeling or thinking about? Maybe. Did it answer a question I was carrying? Did it repeat a theme that has been showing up in my life? Or maybe, did my body react when it happened? Did it feel expansive or grounded or emotional or deeply resonant? Feel what's right. The second step is journaling. This is one of the most powerful tools for decoding synchronicity. Because sometimes a sign doesn't make sense in the moment. But when you write it down and then look back later, patterns begin to appear. So you can write down repeated numbers, dreams, of course, always, good thing, symbols, animal encounters, songs that appear in meaningful moments, conversations that feel strangely timed, names, places, or words that keep repeating. Strong intuitive feelings. Decisions you were facing when the synchronicity happened. Over time, you may start to see your own symbolic language. Maybe certain animals appear during transformation. Maybe certain numbers show up when you are aligned. Maybe your body gives you a clear sensation when something is right or wrong. Maybe certain people appear when a lesson is ready to unfold. This becomes your personal dialogue with life. Not a rigid rule book, not a superstition, a relationship, a listening practice. Now, this part is very important because when we talk about synchronicity, we also need to talk about discernment. It's beautiful to be open, but we also need to be grounded. Because sometimes when we really want something, we can start turning everything into a sign. If we are attached to a certain outcome, we may only notice the things that confirm what we already want to believe. That is not intuition, that is projection. So, how do we tell the difference? A true synchronistic nudge usually feels spacious. It doesn't feel desperate. It doesn't make you abandon your wisdom. It doesn't ask you to ignore reality. It doesn't push you into fear, obsession, or fantasy. It feels more like a calm inner knowing. Even if it surprises you, even if it challenges you, there is usually something clean about it, something steady, something that brings you closer to yourself. Projection often feels more frantic. It says, I need this to mean something. I need this to be a sign. I need this to prove that I'm right. Intuition whispers. Projection grabs. Intuition opens the body. Projection tightens it. Intuition can wait. Projection demands an answer immediately. So, when a possible synchronicity appears, don't rush to define it. Pause. Breathe. Let it sit. Ask, what does this awaken in me? What is this inviting me to notice? Am I listening or am I forcing meaning into this? Does this bring me into clarity or into confusion. Synchronicity is not meant to replace your responsibility. It is meant to deepen your relationship with life. You still make choices. You still use wisdom. You still look at reality clearly. But you also allow mystery to have a seat at the table. When we begin to live with this awareness, life starts to feel different. Not necessarily easier, not always magical, not always clear, but more connected, more alive, more intimate. You start notice that life is not just a series of random events that happening around you. There is a rhythm, a pattern, a hidden conversation. Maybe a door closes, and at the first it feels like a failure, but then another door opens that you never would have seen otherwise. Maybe a delay saves you from being in the wrong place at the wrong time. Maybe a chance meeting becomes a turning point. Maybe the thing you thought was a mistake becomes the exact path you needed. This doesn't mean everything is meant to be in a simple or passive way. It doesn't mean we stop making choices. It means we participate more consciously. We walk through life with open eyes, we listen, we respond, we let the universe speak through timing, symbols, intuition, and resonance. And we ask, what is life showing me now? Not from fear, not from obsession, but from curiosity, from trust, from presence. Living with synchronicity is not about waiting for grand signs. It's about noticing the small invitations, the subtle openings, the repeated themes, the moments that feel like tiny sparks of meaning in the middle of ordinary life. Because maybe the universe is not always shouting. Maybe it is whispering through the stranger you meet, the dream you remember, the song that plays, the path that opens, the feeling in your chest, the number on the clock, the sentence that arrives exactly when you needed it. The question is not whether life is speaking. The question is, are we quiet enough to hear it? If you want to start exploring this in your own life, here's a simple practice. For the next 7 days, keep a synchronicity journal. Every day, write down 3 things. 1. What question or theme is alive in me right now? Maybe it's love, purpose, direction, healing, creativity, trust, or letting go? 2. What repeated signs, symbols, conversations, dreams, or feelings showed up today? Don't force it, just notice. And 3. How did my body feel when it happened? Did you feel expansion, tightness, warmth, emotion, calm, electricity, peace? At the end of the week, look back. Don't try to make everything mean something. Just ask, what patterns are beginning to reveal themselves? What is life reflecting back to me? What am I being invited to see more clearly? This is not about becoming dependent on signs. It's about becoming more intimate with your own path, more present, more awake, more available to the subtle guidance that may already be surrounding you. If you take one thing from this video, let it be this. Synchronicity is not about escaping reality. It is about entering reality more deeply. It is about realizing that life may be far more interconnected, intelligent, and mysterious than we were taught. A coincidence may be just a coincidence, but sometimes it may be a whisper, maybe a mirror, a nudge, a doorway, a reminder that you are not separate from the great tapestry of life. So, next time something strange and meaningful happens, don't immediately dismiss it. Pause. Take a breath. Listen. Ask yourself, what is life showing me? What part of me is responding to this? What is being invited here? And then stay open, not attached, not desperate, just open. Because the universe may not always speak in a language we can explain. But sometimes, if we are present enough, we can feel the message. Before you go, I'd love to hear from you. Comment below and share, have you ever experienced a synchronicity that felt too meaningful to ignore? Was it a person, a dream, a number, a song, a place, or a moment of perfect timing? And if this video helped you feel more connected to your own path, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss future videos of spirituality, intuition, inner guidance, and the hidden language of life. Now, take one deep breath with me. Inhale and exhale. Maybe life has been speaking all along. Maybe the signs were never outside the path. Maybe they were part of the path. Thank you for being here. I'll see you in the next video. Have a great day.